What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Jake from Citizen JV, and today we're going to be talking about the newest update for Cyberpunk 2077. It is 2.0, and it came out last week on Thursday. And I will also talk a little bit about some sort of type of feature that I'm not really thoroughly enjoying as much as I want to. But, I just want to talk about this in general first before we dive right into this new update. The stamina. I do not like the stamina all that much. Granted that we are able to utilize our running skills and our jumping skills a little bit better. But with the running, you are able to run very much more unlimited. The stamina is no longer going to be used while running. But however, the only thing that the stamina does when it depletes, it has to do with the dodging and with the gunplay. And to me personally, I feel like it doesn't work as much as it should, or I don't think it should work at all, in my personal opinion. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably get some, negative feedback on this, but I don't care. I just want to put my point across on that as well. But what I really want to talk to mostly about this is that I'm really enjoying the new entire update for Cyberpunk, and I think it was very much well deserved for a lot of people. Because, a lot of people really gave up on this game when it first initially came out because there was nothing but horrendous bugs, technical issues, and vice versa. So it's like, I really think that this game or this new update really does a magnificent job bringing this game back from a rise and fall sort of thing when it comes to this game. And I thoroughly believe that. I do believe that it's very well deserved for this game because this game it's amazing. And so I actually ended up playing a new character. I made a new character in this game. And I'm going with the hack and slash netrunner build. And so I'm at a pretty significant level. And I think I'm 16 or 17 with my street kid, netrunner's hack and slash build. And I gotta say, it's really cool. I love the concept of it. I really like the fact of how this game is utilizing to its utmost of 100% of degree to where this game is doing a much better job when it comes to the focus of what builds that you really want to pertain to use in this game. And it does so well within this new update. And that's what I love about this game as well. Now, one thing I do really want to put here, too, is that what I love about this new update as well, other than what I previously mentioned, is that it's the gunplay, or the guns. The guns are so much better than from its original concept of the game when the game first initially came out, because, obviously you have your smart weapons, you have your tech weapons, you have your power weapons, and then you also have melee weapons as well. I have not used much melee in this new version, but, well, actually, I take that back. I have been using melee because I'm doing the Netrunner hack and slash with the mono wire, and I would say the mono wire is absolutely amazing. I love the ability, what you can do with that, and it's je ne sais quoi all over again from the original game itself before this new update came out. And so that's what I really have to say about this game so far. And I think that's where this game really does shine, and it really does a really good job of utilizing the new update and knowing what you really want to do in terms of builds, what you want to do. And like I said, I'm going with the hack and slash netrunner, and I gotta say it's pretty good so far. Other than I'm currently level 16, if I remember correctly now. And so it's like I really had to utilize a certain type of way of how I was going to do my build. And I gotta say, it's a very unique way of playing the game because, you can do so many builds in this game. And so what I will say is that I actually have a build helper, sort of say, for Cyberpunk 2077, of course, because it's really helping me utilize to where I want to put my skills in order to maintain a proper balance and efficiency with my hack and slash netrunner build with my V. And I will say it's really intricately well designed when it comes to this build guide that I'm using in order to make this build in this game, because it helps me more so because I am not used to playing these types of games usually. And so, but what I love about Cyberpunk, other than its role-playing mechanics and its concepts, is the fact that it's a first-person shooter. I have a love for first-person shooters, and I'm really hoping that my love for first-person shooters will always be a really good way of my pure game aesthetic of my single player gamer as I am. So I love that. But that's where I think Cyberpunk really does a really good job with its utilization. But however, with this new update, going back to the stamina thing, I really want to mention here real quick as well, because I feel like I didn't really talk much about it like I initially started out with. And so it's like, it's kind of growing on me, but it's still kind of weird, because it's like, why in the world would a gun like use some stamina? And so it's like, I know that it's a video game. I get that they want to be more role-playing aesthetic to it, or the concept of it, and to where this game is initially going to go in the not too distant future when it comes to its new expansion, which is coming out later this week, which is Phantom Liberty. And I am planning on getting that expansion at some point. But however, with Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out in less than a week, of course, I will be playing that as much as I can as well, and I will be making videos on that video game too. So I will be a little bit busy on, like making some Cyberpunk videos or commentary, or, talking a little bit more about my build guide that I will probably actually end up doing, because like I said, I am thoroughly enjoying this build. It's because I'm so used to like playing as nothing but a, just a run and gun, like, with the machine guns or light machine guns or assault rifles or SMGs or even shotguns for that matter, because I'm so used to that type of playstyle. But the reason why I decided to go with the hack and slash netrunner build is because I have seen numerous videos on this build, and it's ridiculous. It's one of the most interesting and most OP builds I've ever seen. Obviously, there are other builds out there that are very much overpowered as well, much like the hack and slash netrunner build. But however, I just love the way how the utilization of the netrunner hack and slash build is going to use and pertain to what kind of gadgets you'll be using, like, scanning your enemies and, doing different types of, hacking versus against your enemies, like using burning and quick hacking and all that kind of stuff. And I love that. And that's why one of the things I was saying when it comes to this build, I love the intricacies of its design of the netrunner hack and slash build, because that's one thing I would thoroughly admit of when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, amongst other FPSs considered maybe similar to that of Cyberpunk. But I think when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, it just does a better job of what you really want to do to utilize what kind of a build that you really want to do in this game. And I think it does it very well. I really do, because I think when it comes to most RPG mechanical or conceptualized games like Dark Souls or like Demon Souls or like Elden Ring or other games for that matter, much like the like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Odyssey per se, I mean, those aren't really pure role-playing games, but they did have some role-playing elements. But I think as far as I'm concerned with Cyberpunk 2077, this game really just does a better job with its utilization and concepts of the role-playing mechanics in this type of genre. To me personally, I am not going to do a little bit of a comparison here, but I would say I think when it comes to The Witcher 3, I think The Witcher 3, it's a different RPG than from what Cyberpunk is, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will probably maybe disagree with me, but however, I really think that when it comes to The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, they are both different types of RPGs, because one is an FPS RPG and one is an action-adventure RPG. And I actually did a little bit of a comparison video a little bit, but I didn't really talk too much about Skyrim per se in that video, but it was more so about The Witcher 3 and what I thoroughly thought about why I think The Witcher 3 just does so many things differently and better from what Skyrim did in terms of its role-playing mechanics with like crafting your gear or crafting your weapons. And that's where I think when it comes to Cyberpunk 27, that's where the crafting system is really heavily involved in this game. You can craft your weapons, you can craft your gear, and you have to have certain types of crafting materials as well, or resources. And that's where I feel like that where Cyberpunk 2077 just does a good job with that though too. Comparing that to The Witcher 3, they do have some similarities or comparisons there, But like I said, Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3 are totally two different type of RPG games of its concepts and mechanics, but they are made by the same company, CDPR. So that's what I really wanted to talk about here. Now, another thing, like I said, I will dive into a little bit more here as well, as I previously mentioned, is that, it's the stamina. The one thing, like I said, about the stamina bar, like I said, it is growing on me a little bit more than I anticipated. But however, I still believe that, I'm sure like some people would say, well, it kind of does belong. It kind of works in a way. But to me, it feels like it kind of works, but it doesn't work sometimes. Because it's like if you're willing to dodge out of combat, whether if you're left, right, or jumping, that sort of thing, it utilizes and depletes your stamina bar. And that's where I was saying when it comes to the combat mechanics, much like using like a mono wire, or much like using a katana if you're doing a more of a melee build, and having some slow effects towards that effect, it's still going to use some of that stamina in my personal opinion. But like I said, but I digress. That's all I have to say about that, and that's why I really felt like I needed to make this video real quick, is because I think that when it comes to games like this in particular, there are games that will conceptually use the stamina bar when it comes to certain types of actions. I get it. They wanted to have it more role-playing like, and like I said, I understand it. But overall, I still think that I feel like it does work, but like I said, it just doesn't always. I just think that it doesn't work like it should, or it shouldn't belong, in my personal opinion. And so it's like, it is what it is. So, yeah. But overall, like I said, with this new update, I love the new update. It definitely makes the game that much greater, and it's much more awesome. I love the fact that you're able to do better things with certain builds that you want to utilize with, or what skills are going to pertain to those types of builds. And that's one thing I will heavily mention here, though, quick real as well, is that, this game does not do a very good job of, telling you what you want to do when it comes to certain types of skills. And using the build guide that I'm using is giving me a much better idea of where I want to go with the build that I'm going with, which is the hack and slash netrunner build. So that's all I got to say about that. But anyways, too much further ado, thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. Be more than happy to reply back if and whenever possible. And you guys have a good rest of your night. Peace.